number something be choose second to me moma de same big some of the shida you are mitsit jura rento gare didn't gare yoga song never child over didn't never song you my child some of the chitang passion watching that's the young you know chishite kayo rain never any control Jesus ten saying catches you control jeden saying this is not a chamber to do the confession control jeden city sanje ten chu ten gendun ten control some ten had it control some ten roda ten city gonna pena maran sita pama tenya tene sedum you can give promote the tenya jigyor payu tenya say ten the keeper legend second the pen must one chamber is got Koshuk chamber, Jetsam, then like a duchat of the chain in Mares, Harrison like a duchat of the Chavina, the Jebu, Dumal, Yongcham, as all this one. Very Yormo, Shabba, Tupa, Tama, Tene, Gosset, Jamata Mangush, Then they can't get go the tray on neon some dish with you. They can't check one. Kangal Puke Kogajiro Puke Kogde Pepper of the Koda. Mention that Kogin Kogu the Peri Puke Konama Puketing Pashagi. Did one? Yeah. The engine number some Tene Shana Digidu Mancheva in a packet in Palabjani. Just for some of you who are not speaking the language I'm speaking right now, it's going to be mainly in Tibetan. So you will be, and there will be no translation because it's just so time consuming. So perhaps, maybe you might want to just go out and have a coffee or whatever. Similar situation this afternoon, so just, but it's going to be Abhisheka as requested by the organizers. So just bear that in mind. But I will try to say a few words in English at times when it comes in my head. Tene da chö tam jiten se da chö segin de zo da nang sangji bi chö de shei orda. Tene number something be true, second be so me moma de same big some of the shida you are not. Same big some of the you are not. That Java Chimasana Mindu. Kanji jikten sene me do ta marang su dujun marang su beta sendik sama tang ji yorwa ti nang sanche be gi ko de re yo ma tene che se mi gi lu ma di kar resana tarba se 탈바도 탐지 침비 고방서였다. 말아도 배차리 나마. 또 탈바세. 근데 탈바세인데 탈세야 찍대. 또 드링에 계셔야 돼. 셔서 좋지와. 근데 히말라야 전체기 남쪽 거리야 시다 주면케 된제기 된다 믹스기 지 가르쳐 그래. 고대부 아버지 세우라 디소기다 양 Delia, Objong, Yonkin, the nation of Bechata, Yonkin, Tetsuki, Young Nekeshedu, Koran, Karisu, Le Natane, Lamsan Koran. Young did drink muscles, something younger. They something ever in a Tandan is ever solo, some parts of the soul scenario. That's what Chivam Khyentse is a Tanyan Shevachik, several that is what a judge, what a triage. That Tarba said you cannot so Kandajil go for the Sena. The sick Tarba second thing on the Jankang and Tarba, second to the Neve, the Chipachi Jankang and Tarba, they don't. Then a Tarba second day, that Zubutusa Dabate, then a Chu Maransu, that church and a Manzuta Mrs. Yanane Zambuling Sever. Yanane, the Karina. Nebu, Netsul, Jima, Jitava, Nebu, Netsu Kari, Yimbati, Hako, Tuna, Teyanji, Choreza, Hako, Maimba, Tamje, Shazam, Kotubaina, Teyan, Jam Hako, Sam Hamago, the Rim Maimba. The bed Koran ha go till Jurdo making this Chasumagina, that is a Tarbas. That in a page with the pay. Then a Bedna me Pejago, two Pejago, and a Karijago, and the Rita me second take Sigi, but they Koran. Tingapok natural ready or make cigarette method to make tuna, lava cigarette. That is natural ready or then a tea ham magona, then a mel took, then lava sick dungal younger. Mel lava chana, then a lava cigarette, some tea, Koran. Samlana Kowatsam Mahimba Nyamyong is separate. Only then did the jacket somebody Goja Shukutila, then they met to him. Then they met a Matuna, then that make sick Dumale Targi. Just on that dinner, that you go on, then it did it. Tarva said to come, Denda. Then that number Sanji Biggie, then thing I share by Yina. Then number Sanji Karisunga, the Sena Manje Mrs. Then Zambuling Chi Nam that Jew get chair, Yonso Zobote. Tene tak koranga juro cha de gyare juro jebol orders tembo jene juro meba takwa temba senji ten degi mares tadi chöbne lu jik dere Tingone chen ham hogo ko ya khai me Tingone demba re Perna manzu de chik samba tang jaba yina nani kare samba de talo samge me nani phaja khasam kare samba tang mate tijun samba tang me tene zambuli ine so samba tang jaba yina ya jurwa shiroji chingyo darung ina ya mutte 그런 이런 조정 단지 상제기 때문에 주로와 제시하고 상제기 Duje Tanje Mitako, Sesung Yongana, Tinje, Maransun, Tene Chinam Chugi, Che, Yongsu, Zuba, Juro Tapper, Yongde, Yuaretas, Tema, Sanjay, Masum, Mato, Sanjay, Kansa, Mitako, Reja, what a chick. Then it should they have to buy a ten something have to buy in a young Panto, Shibuji or the but now, Manzu Mrs. Chatanki, some among Java in a young Mitsit in Jura Gentogare Tirin Kari ever song never child over it, Tirin never song you ever child, some day Chitam, Pesha, watching that's the young Yuna Chishite. Khyentse, rain never was. Tarung Yina Peche, Shia saying the Buddhist, Zan, Mary, Gaza, Mrs. Tabatemba, Yinang, the Shabio. That Mrs. Gana Shiju down in the Sanjig and Marigo, General Longe, Draw, Nien, Penna, Dad, Drobo Chandog, Drobo, Dad Chandog in the yard. Jason Juro, Tapper, young Dego. That did have got to buy in then Mitaki Chela, Tapper, something dancing with Lotte, so that Tapper, some doing around some tongue they were. They didn't never charge. They didn't never charge on my inner young. That Tarba Chasang the Togi on the Gajin, hang you, take Mrs. Chaton. Gajen Hangyo, what did it? So I was talking about the truth being the goal of Buddha Dharma, and truth is something very simple. It's nothing magical, it's not mythical, it's not religious. And the first truth that I was sharing in Tibetan is the truth of uncertainty, impermanence of life, universe, world, everything is impermanent. And the impermanence is not created by Buddha. It is the truth. Truth cannot be created. It was taught by the Buddha. What is it? Then, Chidong Tanchul Nelu Denva Second Hajang Ting Sapotong Jet Chembo Gachan Mambore Ina Tirin Belia Dudu Chen Jixamna Nona Dinan Yanchuk Dandalia Tenishari Jason Chatsama kind of Marigo. Then it done Chug Nesu Chick Kare or the Sana. Kare Moko, Kare Mansula Yunaya, Jamba, then in Mansula, Jibo, Tugi Mares, what a did that children on the conditions of the Sana Sajitan to do Halva, the Sunga, that thing around the Kodemoji Mala, Lavaina. Until Mr. Kare Moko Kare Yuna, take it, Jamba, Jibo Zotugi on, Pedan. Kashi number yoga yina, the Nichibo reggae, something that they numbers so etutan, Shakambo, Jabo charge, Jabo, Kambo charge, Napo, Kambo charge, Kambo, Napo charge, then number, some Shibutang in the Yoruba. Yina, number one, young Khyentse young, that just number that Sassum, Sani, Kansa, the Jibos ranking. You are not a room number you can do him. I don't know. That they don't think but Juchuko Chana Jibo Yongre, somebody or the Ina Juchuko Chata, which you would just Jata, then Deva Jibo saying the Yongi of Chava Yamar. Kaji, get up, Champochana, get up, Dundalia, Dash, what is the word? Get up, me. Tachu Chaman Namia Geta, Jan Geta, Dzongsar, Chicha Namageta, Buncha, Saya, Geta, Chasabishubudilla, Jashi Jetamba, there was regular narrow. 게다 같이 채나야 대가지 샘제체 타나 파칠로가 즉 쇼핑 제가 조사야 강가 그 짱가만 집어넣지 제정 다 잠불링디 남들라 세월다 만주 미세 남들라 자자 제탐바 때네 대화 지보 잭통게 게 최지 요마레스 어다 덴바직 데레 데레 시다 오늘 있잖아 한 가서 마고야 가야 매래 다긴 셰제버도 미탁과 둥할과 세근데서 뭐네 제발 이나 미고야 가야 매래 이나야 깨신시에도 고나야 쌈을 넣는들이야 딱딱 랩톱이 유명해요 하고야 말하고 쌈을 넣는 랩톱이 말해라 음식 때문에요 랩톱이 말 제정 테네 노티지다 다양 인지가나 사마리 두두치 so the second truth that is taught in Buddha Dharma is that nothing will give us 100% satisfaction, nothing whatsoever, be it fame, wealth, power, influence, nothing. Something small to something very big, nothing gives us satisfaction. And this is the truth. And I was saying, these truths are nothing magical, nothing religious. They are raw, simple, mundane truth. But as we speak, this sounds convincing and this sounds easy. But this is not easy to really adopt habitually and emotionally. And this is always the challenge. Tene ta kaasa chikte tere ta dagin labar nashi chogi nesul ngomate ting sapo jachembo kecha mambore ina ya ta dudu jin shedu ta chik kare resana dujun marang so tene pesha nanda chö thamje ne lukte tene tongpo sa sungare tongni ko ta kecha tene sungayo tongdang tenjing rejung segen deso kecha tene yo ta te mang chewa ni nam tliya teji gomshi meba ina disu kortala lamsang ha kotup sehende kala khabo mendo ina yang ta ko debu chen phashe ba ina manzi tujin tene ndi yakpore ndi dubja ndi ringbore ndi tungtungre ndi pe kansa chembore ndi chungchungre ndi 강사 공세 첨부들 ndi 공세 충충들 세근다 강제 만들기 쌈로 남아 코르세 탐제 마랑적 쌈로 남 가리 임바 마랑적 남아스 대만도 뇌포게 내출 과랑라 딘데 말해서 다 대가 점지 고지 랩도바 이나 tene chö tamjig nelu tongpani segendi des kansa hakko to be an pento yong sigiri tengido kanje tati one dia jai bana manje tene mijig mijenda jil tane khope mi yakore san ngaram su nawala ta ko one mi yakore sa sambatini samsagi mite yang mijenda ki a khole mi dukti jiwa mara sambatini mangbo yora 제정 먼저 단 디야고 독자 가리 먹고 가리 삼는 가리 거래 같은데 말은 좀 나와다 띵무수 파게 덴버 죽는에 파게 요 말에스 다 대가 참지 하고도 봐 이나 때문에 다다 남상집이 최근 남은 순자가기 최 아까 분내 동반이 세근데 배제 하고 거야 때서 팽기를 주기도 오 다티시 때문에 briefly. So the third truth that I was sharing is everything that we project, everything we perceive is merely your opinion, your projection, it's your ideas. Nothing exists externally, independently, out there as the best, the worst, the evil, the divine. Nothing exists out there. So which means in the teachings of Buddhism, often we hear words like shunyata, emptiness. So even though the emptiness is a very vast and deep teaching, I think understanding at least that everything is just your mind, everything is your perception, is your opinion, I think this will do it for now. So this is what I have said. Chazamta, 당외복이 natural second 다당 예시죠. 그래서 탐제 정 rinpoche가 예스어야 매저고 외복이 natural second 그랑 단다 여들 말아서 냠도 외복이 natural second 럽종 망고 제 직반 직나 망고 정 Tene chik kale je mangbo jabjil maung pa dame po kene su sing chik gajik chi su chilo top yong ya sing tin ri kesha mare ngue po kene su danda marang su kesha sheshe kala yor penna chen zu dang nganda ji cha ja ba ina dagin chu su jubane danda pa jurwa mangbo ra cha ge cha mandu tamche o tega na jing zambuli nanda na jurwa mangbo ra cha what 제정 응어보게 내수 생인데 마랑 설레 카 로여와 말이었어 마랑 저기 랑신 마랑 저기 직가 단 내수 세고로 마랑 저 랑신 마랑 다 되게 하고고 다 되게 하고투가 있나 나긴 남자들 하고투가 있나 때네 samler nangdaliya misi cheptang tila korang jurwa cheptempe lebyong penna chenzu kanya rungwantiga diring membachi o ta che nasa tendeji lepsadus ta che peche dawa tru tse dena zambulinda dawa tru tse de tse yosadas di maa tse ta peche yuwa maa ta chukang dawa tru nish tru nangla tene shintoga re se memba chik laba yongna tene darung ina Christmas shopping dosa re darung ina ya ta kangba jak chi nyo shimi nyo tene kangba leka di tsues chashi diksa re chikchana diksa dayam ya kasha yo ya ta kwa chi ya chiko kangba ji nyo jos samna yongara penna chenzu kashi tene zubo jomdar che tene zubo yar tang kamr tang pe masal kizu yabu chaya gandal ya ta nima takor korang jim nang rokenso ta chue dawa tu nishi logresan ta dosa re mutu ko dawa tu nishi ko masal kadrimu namaz zebo kazi ye mene ta chechang ngebo ke nesu sing namjo na lepse shugu dila misi samlo tang misi chashi jatang disle ye jurwa chile tene tiki ta tedang tune ngebo ke nesu tang tune tene leta le misi cheba ina tene tiki jumje dila ta dharma se 다 된제지 고아가 같이 배지 지금 먼저 성기 I was saying the benefit of understanding the truth is basically it will change the way you lead your life, where you plan your life. So I was giving this example. Let's say you are this ambitious, outgoing, friendly, vibrant, go to the gym, build muscles, be very health conscious, etc., etc. But then suddenly your doctor says you only have 6 months to live. Would you still do it? You might, why not? But the way you project your life, where you plan your life is going to change. After this, after doctors, prediction. So, if you could change your life, if you can alter your life based on truth, then this is getting close to what we call liberation. Penna, kashta kon chutunju mani. 제상직남 로디 카감 님 주제만도 추둥 좀 마라 때네 카감 때 제상나나 공부좀 로디 때네 미주 생기 통하여서 미주 생때 추나진지 여러 왔다 받아서 빼 추나진 빼 소저부터 통계에서 때네 대통령도 아다 추시 때네 추다 때나 추tun가 로인선에 강서 곰빼 깔래 잠에 되나 로디 미치게 아파게 추 말다스 파게 미주레스 저랑 다가서 통화레스 랑겐지 레바이나 다중 이나 깔래 잠에 조사라다 말에 따틴 주로시 레병거로 어따틴 주로 땅야들라 주로 땅야들 쏠죽 제겐들라 최제 세야데 다 데려줘. 다 주부주사 잡았대. 다 강사 때문에 최제 세야 돼. 다또 최삼 곰숨 생긴 건 저게 시야지 와랬다. tösede kana ta kesenya loya 같은 데면도 배쳤을 로 댐된데 로 드링나 지금 안 좋던데 계셔냐 다 되게 팽개요 그래서나 응여보고 내주 거들이야 nye 응여보고 내주 거리야 돌랭제 응여보고 내주 거리야 되네 배 댐된데 로이나 댐로 근데 제바이나 되네 다 되게 그냥 삼는 주로하실래 그러고 되지 근데 딩땡들라 단딩원에 가르쳐 그래 막 펜도 예설해다 말해 딩원에 댐바래 두다 민두 상제기 숨서 그래 라마서 근데 숨고 단딩 댐바래 두다 민두선에 딱제당 딩원에 몇 번에 수당 튕기 예설해다 말해 딱제당 람상 라마제기 숨고두선에 람상 거랑 이제 제야 마인바 다들 딱제 당와들라 삼바상에 때다 진짜질라 라마 지기도 다네 갑질라 때네 다 다트서 때네 조거레 숨고 라마처 때네 디땡들라 딱곰 생수여로 퇴삼곰 딱곰 생긴 깨셔대 때네 망 채워기 땡성 람성 그런 굽살 쭉 수고 장벌대 때네 까만 주지 제가 주지 일에 듣는데 봐 망기 외치는 대바들로 곰스 쓰기도 와 only chinan nor they couldn't chitam gom marisigo marta, they gom leather, they couldn't gom jetang, don't Tinane jig ready go. Tene gom singing to tagging a share bagi, Nubuk Nessul Mangushaimba, Mita Dungalwa, Tompa, Shaimba, Te Maransuki Jula, Katse, Ina, Manzuki Sembenam, Droidupta, Manzuki Koran, Komshi number, Lep Etupta. Manzuki Tedam, Timbi, Lega Katse, Ina, Le Etuptaya Tila, the Gomsi Terabata. That day, Jayama, then it Tata. Tujun Manzuki Masal Zup, then Zuko Chamber there, the Chick Jaji or Tigi, Pengi, they on top, Karsuko Tashi, Yakshuchi Chago. The Ina Mang Chavita, the Zolona, Yamare, Zonde, Yamare. The Gom Chapter Kalakabari Ina Tagging Asia Javaki, book Nesulting, Maransuki, Commissioner, Labia, Chetu, Tashi, Yanda, Mango, Yore. Injimiji Kupsal to where you are, just a monkey Kupsal to Mare, Lama Kupsal to Bogan to get council to the chance of Posa Moses to Kavato. Tene. Tatila tene Khyentse Pari Cheburisana so tagging a lamanashi. We book Netsu Kolia Shenken that the Yana Teso Nien Ran Susuki Low. Then it is called a Samotana. Tigi Shida Pengi Yamin tell Robert Yamin Church had tell Zigo there. Then Concho Jesus ten singing catches your Concho Jetan singing. Tishita Nanga Chamber to Javido. Take Harvesana, Concho Jetan Sedu, Sanje ten, Chu ten, Gendun ten, Concho sum ten, Concho sum ten Savarota, ten Sedukana, Pena, Maransuta, Pama Tenya. Then Sedum you can give Pupumotin to Tenya. Jigoro, Payu, Jayas, and the Chipalo Sanje ten, Chu ten, Gendun ten. Then that in an Alatango, that Korim Sanje Chu Gendun, in a Shatang of the Chedugana, that they had the church had Pashene, that they chesed. Chu ten Sedugana, Nune Chena, Tagging a Lavia, Mitaka. Dung Halwa, Sinkish Shamber, again. Tamatam Jura, Takatam Yama, some Rabaji Yorba. Teach it. That thing will be necessary. Then that Zambulana Kare Inaya, Jatan Jibutet to be married, some Rabaji Yorba. Teach it. Then Marang Tonse and the Marang get tongue the Mother, the Mare, then the Mareva, then the Marang the Nang the Gidua, some summer Gioro. That TV, some Jena, only church jetting the terror, church jetting Mama, the terror, church jetting singing. Then it didn't get church the sunken the Sudesana. Sanji Shajatubar. See, then ready church in the song to some chamber ready some big then corner, that Gaya, so the Hale, corner Gaya, that country, the Sanji Jedin dead. The one Hale, Gaya, and ready or that. Sanji is soon Javatis. Things are ready with that. Lord Niton Marjaki Nana, Duce Tamje Mitako, Saje Tamje Dumaro, Chu Tamje Tonjin, Dam Mepa War, Senes Shinging me. You are my son. 하정이 오늘 섬로 체리기 섬로 쌀지기 섬로 슉 쳐버려져 다들 상지기 손자 체리범 뭉차지를 병원이 있나요? 뇌지 찌양 땅을 잡고 말을 건져 가봐서 다 체리도 링도 땅에 비지를 왔다 비자민 된데서 때는 조깅도 제 근데 링도 땅에 뇌지를 딱 봤다면 참 그런 주로되는 매력 미시바 체리도 뭉차지를 대나히 좀 최근에 있나요? 대 자샤 찌기 자샤 자샤도 만두 찌고도 대본 째쪽에 저쪽에 맞아 제선 상직이 숨을 같아서 딱딱 단단히 줄어야 말을 못해 단단히 딱딱 그날 느껴야 되나 제선 단단히 상직이 숨어대 하지 댕상 딱하네 쭉拉拉 전부 아니 제가 조선 땅에 리서치 미신 쪽 남준남 야포 마포 잠준남 진짜 가사 조선 진짜 땅나 단 딜레 하즈 근데 콩나 단 진짜 찌가 장축 신중도 워가 싹감보지 마띵 디강다나 마주네 근데 순적이 깨셔디 단단히 따다 나데 근데 저기 송도 삼네 된지 줌선 삼직 삼방전에 상제가 같은 거 있나요? 상제 제전 저 상제 제전 색이 차가웠다. 상제 제전 색인데 어디지? 다 겐든 제전 겐든 제전 세겐데 따티 벨나 마랑스 베베나 라부도 지두 생기시 안레 지두 따다다 드리베 마드롭티 한사 제림테 사자 제시 저거 촉바 겐든 상가 생긴데 촉바 따티 강제스나 따와 퉁행 다와 tumbo yongke jeba 대양 장킹기 미수 냠도 루룩 전에 따디 냠도 파 델이야 다 줘야 돼. pen 아메리카의 여러분들 리퍼블리칸 데모크래트 생긴데 여 리퍼블리칸 기타발라 강켄서 딜파 디제스랑 델 델이야 슉자 조성 되나 땅 pen 마스 조성 되고 데모크래트를 강켄서 데모크래트를 또 진짜 제거하러 왔다. 다 대대 찍거든데. 다 겐든 시디 다 뒤제 탐제 미타과 사제 탐제 동하와 최 탐제 동신 다음에 봤으면 다타다 대마이 덴바지 생긴다 된 때네 가서 따와 땡진 주승 대소 탐제려야 할래 대소 탐제려 가 대소 탐제기 제수 죽 다 딘제기 다 가자 현다 따와 tum버려 왔다 다 대소리야 대소 제수 제하들라 그 컨트롤다 긴든 컨트롤 제수 텐스 제전스 때다 때니 제수 전바이나 잠조는 자기가 라마다 잡수 상제도 다 간사 상제도 잡수 저를 잡수 긴든을 잡수 줘서 언제 뒤진 잠조지 제야요 당원에 전에 되겠다 하고서 맞다디 제셰바이나 네 단달라바데 다리나야 가르쳐 그래 근처 제수 자야 체도 탑시 현다 가래는 땅만 만들고 이거만 땅 거는 이 나네 뺐나 최샴샴이야 생들이요 아무도 최샴 생들인데 딱 강벌하던데 여기는 최샴 딱 최샴 중서기 때는 사실 내 가진 내 옆에 땅에 외지리 예사 총량 점지마도 사실인데 매경기대 외지리 대서 있나요 상제 제수 자야 체도 뺐나 아이폰기 강사 카바르 나라야 때는 상제기 때는 가르쳐 그리고 군인 쿠퍼 여하자다 때는 등상 포상만서 빼 따주 자야를 빼가고 상제기 때는 가르쳐 그래 근데 제시방이나 만들고 통금해도 돼. 상제가 상제 생기는 거네. 디송이 취해들가 디 제수 템비게 탑시 가랭 땅마냥 쟤는 되게 좋아하대. Anyway, most of what I've said I've even forgotten, so I don't know how to summarize it. Basically, I was saying we have in Buddhism we talk about truth. I summarize the truth as how everything is impermanent, nothing gives us 100% satisfaction, everything is just your opinion, nothing really exists out there. So now if you realize that, you will be free. Free from what? Free from false illusion, delusion. If you are thirsty, you want to drink so much water, and you are in the desert, you see a mirage. If you don't know it's a mirage, you will go there and you will be disappointed. But right from the beginning, if you see it as a mirage, you will not even go there. So in this sense, you are free from being deluded. So in order to sort of strengthen this, we need to do what we call practice. So I was saying briefly, practice. There are so many different ways. Meditation, so-called meditation is one of them, but this is only one. There's 1,000 others. I was suggesting remembering the Buddha, Dharma and the Sangha is a really, really important one. And there are many different ways. Remembering Dharma is basically remembering impermanence, remembering the dukkha, remembering the, shunyata, all of that. And whoever taught this was Shakyamuni Buddha. And I think admiration towards the Shakyamuni Buddha is really important. And I think if you pay some attention, you would realize this guy called Siddhartha Shakyamuni Buddha, he taught these teachings 2,500 years ago. Everything what he taught, even after all this scientific advancement, economical advancement in the modern world, we cannot dispute even one. Nothing can be disputed. In fact, many of what he has said is coming true. So even with this single reason, one should be really admiring Shakyamuni Buddha. And this admiration to the Buddha is what I would call fundamental ingredient for something called refuge, jamdo. So that's what I was saying. I should look at the time. Okay. What did you Khyentse. Di teng dila ta tane mixe ta kalo kitela le jumde la tisung che ko re sa sanjik chö nam tinde chi yo re le jumde sende tisung che ko re dikpa sanye gi mares geva sa res geva dup ko res dikpa sanye gi mares 다 초tin 잡고 예수게야 나기다 가체게야 나그래 주의시게야 나그래 잡고 이나양 거랑 가서 이 몸을 때는 삼도 땅인데 가는 자기가 계셔대 내 중제 세긴데 상지기 숭 잡았대당 현다선 자기 말때 다들 민족이 좀 센터서 다 드링다다 체거야 지민도 강제 Tene le jumde second penna nre tabna nre chegeres meto tal arse bole kare meto tamna meto chegeres ina yang meto tabat samchigi yang meto che second ya kale khabar meto ta chu lo lu lo dabo jap Nima shar chaba jab da kar mukare ta juchen mango je cho pache da dende mare na ten meto je nde chegro oda dire pe kesha ko de buji she ja bayina te indi tene le jumde second de pem masig wang chambers ko shuk chamber je zang tene Lega dukja de change in mares. Karesna lega dukja de chevaina, the drebu dungal young that lega dukja che juso sang gate parcheka but in the mevaina, in the Quran. Drebu dungal young jam, so tesu, chesam, that is cortella, that Nella children, Jiting Katabina, knowledge, that children cut up the 다 대가 잠직 배치 내삼나 대가 좀도 되네 다 자첨부 강사 델리아 셰야 고사야 마젤라 되네 셰야 두쇠 민두 되네 Then this is what the Kalap Sidukana channel to Inchi, Minji, then the Rinpoche, then the Kalang song, Tamanzu Chegogi, Ujirava, then the Marigo Kecha. A channel to J, then this is Jena, Jekuna, for Jiva. Ina Ne, Rinpoche, Jumsen, number Sanjipanam, Dindi, you are das. Pachik shed, then the channel to Junu Pomosovi, Namjo, the Gengo Soka. Number you second cash share going to do. Chenam Lord Chua Victilla. Then in Digi, you are it and Namjon on the chick. Ma Lats Cheshavina. That one to number Sanji Second, the little yourself, something somewhat to Korjavina, that's Pento Sigrid, something yin. Then a cut off situation matter that indicate Masona information. Then the Karsa would have Pachik. The day you are the Slaviasanchi. Or thing. Then Jikten Kalo Naroches. Then Jikten Kola mixing. Then Chu Haza, Jikten Kola, Sea down, Panjor down, Saint down, the Drake down, Lobjong Tarchim, but in the Kaya Jay, Jayzang, Lobjong Kaya, Major Tiki, Karsa would have Kalo. Shida Jashambu Kaya Jamido. Yina, that Zambuling Din under the den, Lord took you rejects Chado, reject rainy Chadoche. Chesam Kazara Ya, Dro, Man, Dro, Nyamyong de Jivar. Nyamyong de Jirijane, Tene Kesha Duzi Shabayina. Tene Jikten Kalop Sedu, Jikten Sedu, Sendig Samaro. Zocha Sendig Samata. Jewa Chima Samata Jimere. Talmadon Tamje Chimika Kabaka. Jikten Kesha Sendil Kibo Yonya, Jig Samo. The Dijik Kesha. Then it Sendil Kibo Yong Seate. Chibo, second day, Massigi, Zubutus at the Pekalaco edition. Take on Kaka mirror, some of Kaka do there. Then you can Kashin Tatagi, Shebanashi, Panjur Mambo Yana, Jibu Chagi, Yanasha into the yourself. Kashin Chik Nyanda, Kashin Rangwang. That deserves. Jumagina, the Khyentse, Chikmi, Masona, the Chago, the day. Then, the Yinayam, near the 베릭 잠지 말고 다 히말라야 미리 가서 미리 망보지 될 때시야 대서는 믹스 그냥 계속 찍이지 셴인 정성 대가리 셴인 정성세나 단 직된 계속 해거다 쳔비 나더라 제 가시기 반절 거기도 가시기 년자 거기도 가시기 따지 글롭종 거기도 진짜 삼야던데 요사 다제 대서 거니 인지래 되네 이나요 내가 최초 찍게 인지께라 아이덴티티 단디 백에 간제스 줄고기 연나 뭐다 세네 지금면도 뭐다 무슨사 딱 디디 배치 찌땅네 먼저 좋아 미기 강에 최초지 되려야 돼 인사 뭐다 디 남매장 다 세리당 반절당 찹시기 때문에 주로 첨부 랩들이 뭐다기 깔랭 강에 뭐다기 dum해디 시부지용 용사 대인도 디코트가 네 천줄은 디지 네 바제스 랑도 가도 가야 제네 네 강양 대 셰암도 이나요 네 강에지 두 삼네 강에지 두다 삼네 가르스 그래 랭 형식으로 봐. 다티 삼업 땅 거야지 레두다 선에 가르쳐 그래. 땡에 대가 점직 단디 강에지 두다 삼삼 잡지 삼지 코트바이나 야보면도 돼서 대셔야 되네 뭐다 세디 tatpenan delia beba dupa yormo kasha tas yormo dat piti tamang Dharma the Yorma. That is so long, not Yorma, not Dubai, not Dubai, not Yormoins. A Yorma. That thing, Motate Kandiji, this some tongue with Resha. 뭐다 찍기 전체 이제 근데 저런서 배바서 그 주박은 랩도 두바서게 고건 랩도 기라건 랩도 다디 뭐다 아이덴티티 다디 직 충충 지레 다데 진짜 니만 딱 버려야 그런 데 가서 주박은 조금 해봐 남가 가서 내가 진짜 주변 우버 드라이버 제시도 내간 비용 주변 7-11 난 내가 주변에 비용 근데 로선해 직책 나도 그 중중을 때네 가다 쓰는다 수자를 대시 쓰는다 근데 대체 지요 다대 중중을 다대 때네 다 말아 칼로 나서 세두가나 다 디솔라 년기 말다 배 마담스 히말라야 때네 가르스고데 룩소당 람룩당 디솔라 년기 말다 승에 라다 람거라다 데 람로지 세워라다 다데 라다 람거라다 나 배깔 다다 넬라리 천설 데 먼저 디 고당 기라당 베베추박한 가만토리 That some lama that the people losa that the town then prevail zago that the duel zago that the chidukan to ruru the chidukana kaya yar madu kamer there's a regular that the pekale cover that they chesan injik chenzo chishos in lucky meda young did which is soon from that cut yango is an young kashik the church and chance of Kale young. That is regular. Yes, I'm not. Then, Yinayam Mota Suja Jesse, Tene Gola, Tele Nanga chairs or Nanga chair, the chick gay injury, gay. Perché Jane Mari, perché Lambo, Lata Lambo, Malam Langan, Malam, Ngedi Manam Nasana Ningali, Purpose of New Dashi, Dupas and New Dashi. Daina Chendu Kansa, Tibetan jail, Chendu Tatik needs to attend the Chendu the Jagman, Kalaje, Chendu Injike, Abshagman. That Chendu Pugu, next generation. Shagman, Kondo Kawa, Perget Jamaman, Perget Lam, Kayoman. Halena. Nang tested Jaguna Chishe. Then Lobjong Jedu Kama, Dunta, the Tani, Sums in the Lobjong Jedi and a Jerry Mato. Gomba Chilo, Gomba Kampo, Chilon Drosapicona, Injiki Jabu. Yanani, that in some pages Spanish Jabu, Mexican Mambo, the Sulinda. Then the page, Nesana Kande, Tangi Duda, Netalas, young, Chitam, young. Perché malava di show, per giù, teni mangiava show se ne deva, jeva, non da aiutare. Di ne tanto che ne su scemo, ne poco ma ne su scemo che non cale cavo scirare penna, pesi giacio, pedi una rosa del engine gosse per mamuto va del New York, ne ngosce per il so, New York ne. Ndi gosse di so Khyentse Pepatso Hakogi Yaman, America was a security. Konzo America Mim Mareta, Konzo America insecure. Konzo Eman Lo Nija, Konzo Europe Europe young, in a Zendulce, in a young Mitamje, sick, never so, John. Tatang Mundu Delhi and New York, the Jessa Chamber Tamje, me Janda is such a Zajo, very what Tata. Yes, a tango, this sort of thing. That consider Miri the Mang, Italy, Ireland, Scottish, the day you had a penna, consume Ming, Ming Chirisuma, John McFarlane, second of the Lavion with the consume. John McFarlane, second Page, that's Scottish in New Zealand. Yinayam, Konzugi, Gomshi Nandala, Scottish, then Yamata, whiskey the Tungi in a name at the Tungi Vegero. They must a Scottish lion. Son, Jason, the Konzu the Manzula doesn't get a mango member in Chen. Then you're gonna Page, the young mother tongue in Yasama. Again, I forgot most of what I've said, but very small summary. There is this request for me to also give some advice on secular matters, like cultural matters. So I was saying, when we talk about culture or secular, we are not talking about beyond this life. Is basically we are talking about this life and how to be happy in this life. And as already discussed, when we talk about happy in this life, happiness is very subjective, right? For some it's wealth, for others it's a fame, for some it's I don't know. There's a lot of definition of happiness, okay? So, but I was saying one thing I want to sort of talk about, especially among the younger Himalayan generation, is that we should pay attention to something called identity. Identity crisis is going to be the biggest challenge in our life. It has always been, but because of the technology, because of the changes in the world, this is going to be one of the biggest challenge in our life, identity crisis. So this is something that you need to pay attention. And when we pay attention, I was saying, I'm sure many of you are already curious why I was talking about Scottish and Irish and all of that. Anyway, I was saying that, there's something called identity, which, by the way, if you're asking me, if you're asking Buddha, he took care of that problem long ago on the mountain called Vulture's Peak. He said there is no identity. He had actually already taken care of that. But who is going to listen to this? Nobody is going to listen to this. Very few, anyway. But anyway, people have identity. This identity is such an illusion and such a problematic illusion. Here, there's a Tibetan, there's a Yormo, there's a Sherpa, there's a Tamang, there's this, that. And they all have an identity. I'm a Bhutanese, I'm a Yormo, I'm a Sherpa, I'm a Tamang. So I was just saying that you all come with this dress to identify your identity, which is very sweet, and I'm very touched. I'm not being critical. I'm very touched, all of this. Please do so, but I need to be realistic. I'm saying that this kind of surrendering to this kind of identity, like saffron rice, butter tea, salt tea, your dress, this is already a recreation for a lot of you. You can't be wearing your traditional dress and work in a 7-Eleven. You can't be driving your Uber. You can, I guess, but probably your ratio of customer might go down because it's not, So that's what I was saying. And then, but more important than the dress, I think, is the language. Language is so important. And I am here to say that you should really protect your language. But I need to be honest, for me, I don't see much hope. I'm very sorry to say this, because what will you do with the Tibetan language? The moment you get out of this building, moment you are trying to catch your next cab or order a food, you cannot use this language. You probably may use in your home once in a while between you two, between Tibetans or Bhutanese or whatever. This is just not going to happen. And you can always challenge me. I was borrowing you guys as an example. Here, I was saying that there's a lot of people here, the Westerners here. I said, Westerners, those who claim themselves American. I'm sorry, I was a little bit harsh, but I was saying these so-called Americans, they are not real Americans. They were all from Europe, most of them from Europe. They came here, they invaded the native people, they stole their land, they built the houses here, and they stayed here on. And many of them have Italian ancestry, Irish ancestry, Scottish. And today, if you ask a Scottish descendant New Yorker, they might have the name such as Scott McFarlane. That's about the only Scottish you can get. Probably they drink some whiskey. Nothing resembles Scotland in them. Probably they listen to once in a while some Scottish songs. This is what is going to happen. And this is something that the Himalayan people here need to know. So that's one. Then diligent kitchen nanga changing, marang samna nanda kitchen nanga changing. Karishia yosana. Tene ta rintang called Keshe. That they are getting Mota called identity. Rintang. That Rintang getting Tulo getting Juron Robert, Juron Rachang, Kawa, Kangal and Manzu to blood. Marang to Pagi, can give me a mancho. KG young Jurat kept over the Tangido. Matina Yapushida. 계획돼서 만년반 거기를 오늘 영어를 쇼 영어에 답시 저거 이나요 다 영 산나나 랩버로다 다 딜레 장 만족이 땅 거야 내가 체주지 가르도서나 린탕 values기도 value 린탕 다 디딩원에 산나다에 개침 버시라를 정기동에 디 린탕데 가르르서나 다디 린탕데 담다 망고 시다도 눕초기 나나 눕초 제감 나나 린탕데 가르요르서나 게르 공장자 엠마스게 린탕 챔버요 게르 소소 individualism 세계를 그러죠 게르 왕자데 엠마스게 린탕 챔버래 sikdinde mambo mane ya mayong a secondada ke majab a secondada jiji nga nye go ge yoda secondada jig yore rang so ger ge mangchala rintang chember de yakbo yore de nga gabo yoda ta shacho ge lunga ta chende mangcho shacho ro diring del godi chengende beba dupa nepali that is it shacho ro shacho ge merik dela gerla rintangle 가르쳐 왔다 collective 시그는 collective 시기다 냠룹 메도 냠룹 데카 초바들 rintan 백 첨부 찍으려 그런 무슨 제캅 파유직과 답변아 지지 요래 달이야 지직 대게 둥룹 초바 지롱 세주 초바 지지니 초바 가는 트마 초바 시와 초바 왕 초바 다감 초바 따뜻 초바 지 루루 파유지바 년년생 분자 루루 뱀마스기 먼저 rin탕 첨부 찍어로 대형의 독자 세금에다 대배야고 요래대 다 딜이야 뱀마스기 주로 첨부 차들에 댕기도네 다디 덴바님의 미신이 빼지라고요 नेचर हिंसा ऑस्ट्रेलिया में दुबा जासांगी पुगु निसुन देवसारगो पुगु 탐지 टीनेज 로 주니 든데 맨도 딱 건조 파게 네페 파게 ऑस्ट्रेलिया 침바레 시기도 다 자상이 거쳐가 재미니 레칼 드로버다 다 디디 딱 पुगु 땅켄 때라 다 현다 질라 된다니 딴데 도성 첨부 시부지 레데셨었네 자상 딱 초가 돼 있으면 초가 아마 몰라 두니 깨강 몰라 근데 몰라라 비자다 파게데 근데 파서 상만 단 냠도 대행서 단 힘만 내기 나온다 직보라 나모라 바라 아마가 뒤서 참잖아 부구스 직 때스 직 가르세고를 깨쳐서 제 때스 직 땡지도 참도 가는 직 라베 따직 슈스인데 제기를 와요. 아직 까지 땅 때문에 지 쿠스도 잡던데 제기를 왔다 근데 검시지요 와. 근데 제가 있어. 다때 뭐나 파게는 다와지 있어 주들 부구직 동자면도 전부터 동에서 말아요. 중중 동에서 말아요. 부구직 고향도 파게 차롱 제저라 람상 거런 폴리스라 가버다. 아 폴리스 파게 용거라요. 근데 가요 맞아. 가서 그런 레가로 파게 용 뭐나 정한한 쭉 가서 좀 정한한 주진에서 말도 된 정한한 주탈 때문에 신에 딱 뭐나 그 샘컴디 템보에 매기 딱지 초가 잼면이 때문에 가르사 파마 제약이 때문에 가르쳐 그래 누다면도 파마 제약 누바 누다면도 대술 딱제 땅전에 뭐나 파 단열에 농가에도 생겼어 파 롱동이스 제정 린탕 카레 된다 제정 만주 대리야다 히마나의 리뷰나들라 단단 만주기 미리기다 찍 패제 만주 고추기로 파서 땅 만주기 전체기 릭기서게 상인나니 파마에 떠나는 티시그래 대꾸라 린탕 카레 돼 talking about identity very briefly, another thing is what we value in the places like Bhutan or Nepal, Himalayan region. What we value and what American value could be really different, and this could clash. I'm not saying one is better than the other. They are both equally ignorant. They both equally have their own purpose. They are all good. So what I was saying, I'm generalizing, of course. I was saying in the West, individualism is very cherished. They are very guarded. They're zealously promoted. Whereas in the East, like India, China, Bhutan, Nepal, collective value is very cherished. Family is important, society is important, everybody has to sort of be together. This is why some of you may have noticed there's all these small groups. It's a very, very tribal kind of mentality. Now, I'm not saying I have no right to say one is better than the other, but since you have all moved here, you will face this problem. And I was just giving an example that recently a Bhutanese family who has teenage children, they brought in their mother, a grandmother, to take care of the teenagers. And in Bhutan, you know, it's sort of not really customary, but it's a habitual that parents sometimes, you know, smack at the children if they're being wild. So I guess the grandmother, after a few months, she must have done that. The kids there, because they're also, you know, growing up in Australia, they know what to do. So they call up the police. The police arrives. Grandmother went to the police station, comes out, and then for months, counseling and whether the grandmother is sound or not, mentally healthy or not, whether the parents are fit enough to be parenting individual children, individually interviewed. The children says all kinds of things, sometimes good things, sometimes, you know, whatever. Big conflict among families. These are something that I think the people here need to know. Since you are here, these are the things that you will have to know. 다 계셔만 쉬우시래서 이내 다디 가상 방사 델리아 까롭 제주스디가나 다디 가시시 제는마 대조행 just 다찍 셔야 다찍 가시셔야 요사나 되네 rāng sōsō tāng jiktengi kēshī shēgōrwa, jiktengi kālō. ngānzu jiktengi misēti, ngānzu ki tāndāti ngārāng tsōki dhūmbō kūrā tātē, tī nāngā chaṁbu shirātē. rōkpa yendā chīki tēne ngānzu ki lēdhūndi dhūb dhūgī rēsam, chī tāng tā rōkpa mēn, rōkpa ngōne kāyō lāyō kaji nime chene rokpa chenghen yoda ye gere soso ina yang chicho ting de samdo tang yong ga na khang tik pe samdo tang ko mangbo chi cha dio khang re sena ndo mi segin de rang rang soso ki de ji yorda khang sa mi yu re 제장 만조를 로바 쟁긴 속이양 코랑 속이 미유지요 북 대바지가 대 지리장 만조를 로바 제바들이요 그죠 대 이거나 참참나 만조 드랄레장 더 이제 제거이나 매나 따지 먹고 땅 거야 됐네 전부 싫어했어 띵해 쉐고야 좀 센데 가서 다 당번데 자신 속에 자리 제가 인정에 망쳐 버리 인지를 대성다 이나다 들은 미리 망고 싶어지다 이나 제발입니다. 만 버리 망쳐버디 그냥 가려요 그래서나 말한 게 삼수 있는데 말한 속에 버리 망쳐버디 땅에 가르쳐는 만 버리 대 미젠다치기 락차렌가야 그냥가 락차렌 저게 누구면 따대대 대대 되네 말해가지고 그래서 락차 다다 다다 고둑자 저기야 말하면서 저거 인생은 저기야 배주 땅는 거지 배주 땅 심거든 대 영화도 버지 zo야 되게 개체무시라 그래서 오다 대제샤 그래서 유rum 시부지 차서 근데 배지 참 잘하면 디버티는 요르스 예배 요 같이 야 계시지 when is he going to reincarnate? Yeah. Who knows? That's a religion of freedom or acceptance. The echo is not helping me. Is Buddhism free? Is a religion of freedom or acceptance? That's a very tricky question. First of all, I refuse to admit that Buddhism is a religion. And freedom and acceptance? No, I don't think so, neither. Next. semcha sejugana kansa ta rang su ki gasa rang su tu ta semba rang su ki dandi tsa chimbu di yakbo di pai mai bui bumoi otat nian sen de yana ni ding kang bai ding sa jing sen de so so chi de yi ji dong yi dong he de song ji dong yi de ning ji ya of course di ju pe ma si chen ba ta nia dong yi de 다 계시 빼면서 첨부는 게 차상치에 두서만 다긴게 나봐임바 다 돈이 세인데 단단 내가 부진들라 마랑스 가래 통 가래 냠수 용나요 단디 랑이 나와 마도 응수 파게 랑자투바 뎀브르투바 실로 요한 말에서는 삼로질렉 투바 이나 다 가진 똥이 냠줄 낸 요리요 고소마 다 디디 망고 레바 이나 되네 닝제 세두가나 망 쳐버 고야 가래 고비요 그래서 아까 고 닝제 사주민도 그런주민도 대사민도 삼삼더버들 닝제 찍어로 다 두준 이나요 똥당 닝제데 딘제 짬지 말다 똥당 닝제 생진 탐제기 나와 대양 덴버 주요 단다 내 라바나지 네 강번비 빼다 작자 전부 파괴시 쉐드가 고개에 숙개시 쉐드가 고개에 내리들의 강번들의 캔서 가르쳐니 제발이나 선마랑 나오는 셔기도 단다 고송 네 마켓시 쉐드 마랑 고개에 깨 가슴 가서 잔 이나 띵 그런 게 나와래 가시 very common zippo, very young, Shandal, the Yabos and Gangan, the Regit. Then they now so, Choy. The year by the Kurang now and the some of the left by Yina. Lamsam Kurang, Marang now a day, Dembai, Church now at the Zumba. Ngay some of them, ngay let them take Dembai, take normal, true messages, Angima. Pajo did that Kurang now and the day. Marang now and the day, some of left by Yina. Gajin, that ninja, only ninjas in the lectures of others. Then it do even the number Sanji big church, Nanga, Tangi to the Chatham Goyim in the land. Number Sanji big church, so Ram Sosoki. Nyamsulan. Then me gender, Daniel, Yankin, Yoba Yina. That tell her, then they did the chess, to catch the tree, Daniel Yankin Sola, then they did the chess and a park. That Khyentse, Ninja, one passion, shepherd, mother. One Jenny, then me gender, Inji, Minji, the chapel, Inji, Minji, the Jane, and Maris, the Del of such a matter. Did I call Namasansi between Yamsulan and Maris?
Rinpoche, as a former student of Rinpoche, his son Sakya Rinpoche Shambhala, do you recommend Westerners to ordain as a monk or not?
Do I recommend you to be monk or not?
Yes, as a Westerner, from studying some of Trungpa Rinpoche, some of his works in Shambhala.
How can I say no? You should, you must. Tomorrow you should start. Tati kola chitang sanje ki choyte kasa yurgiyo. Tene nangba choge yurgiyo, nangba mahingin choge yang korang yurgiyo. Tene ta nganzu tene nangba sanje ki jinjuba. Choge dingzu tang dembi kone jik jultuna yaksare samne tene yurgi harita che tsang peche jashe sumju chijita ta tsar yongya ta chi mere ina ya ta gajin jashe sumju chijik lo na ya dajanam lo tubiya zotubi hari tene chitang te jurichene dajanam Longkin Hachang Manzuki Samuel Devaki, Tene Longkin Tide, Tend of Tenshipar, Penna Africa Lumbata, Tene Kachi, Jacob Mangun Nanglayang, Tene Tajan Dinamia, Zuchene. Then Sanjik Sunrap Tente, Law Tente, Mambong, Tongidu, Unity, Manzupe, Maransu, Kansa, JJ, Yabuin, Samgi.
It's an honor to be here to listen to your teaching. May I ask in the view of Buddhism, how is the universe or life begin? I just seeking this answer for a long time, and I don't know
how the life begun.
Yes, if you can share your point of view that how the life began in the Buddhism point of view.
This is an ironic question because you are asking a Buddhist who does not believe in beginning.
So Do you think that is some type of different kind of substance that just if they're existing for a long time and then they just coincidentally?
See, for Buddhism, time is an illusion, and by the way, that is confirmed by Einstein and many other subsequent physicists. If time is relative, then it is an illusion, right? So, for me to say something substantially exists is going to not work. Whether it exists on the illusory level, yes, it exists. Okay. Itu tambah dari jam tu, nanti sampai tu. Kei teng thapa matam sehat ni mel, manju nangchu tata bebe zerjo kicu diam, tango masuk ni kan bebe nang semua mereka, Pali teng semua, Sanskrit kita semua. Tene kei teng inci macam cuci kuku na, manju thamte Sanskrit logo.
Oh, thank you, teacher.